Hello viewers, and welcome to today's stream on GT Sport. A bit more GT Sport action, and let's see now what we've got going on in the chat. Just going to catch up for a moment with you all now. So we've got iMorph TV. Hello iMorph TV, raiding us, literally raiding us for today's stream on Twitch. It's good to see. We've got Brett on Facebook, and we've got let's see, we've got Nigel here as well on YouTube. I'm just sorting out this chat, and then we'll be ready to go. Just got to sort out the and then we'll be ready to go on the chat. Okay, so now your chat will start coming up for me as well. We've got Marek, got Jason, and we'll be ready for a bit of gaming action, guys. Ridge Racer, absolutely. Ridge Racer, you know, love a bit of Ridge Racer. Great music in Ridge Racer 4. And I thought, why not? Bit of Here He Comes Again, absolutely. So we've got to set a lap time. We've got a race in 2 minutes. First practice lap of the day. Hang on. I did a quick practice lap yesterday. We're 1 second behind where we want to be, so we're going to see if we can just improve a bit, but I don't think we'll have time in this run. Braking too early there. I just got to find out where the braking point is there. Last week obviously the Nations Cup didn't go too well for me in this car, just mainly down to the just terrible driving from everybody. It was really just unbelievable, the dirty driving that was going on. It's crazy. Oh, I didn't get on the power right there at all. I got on the power too early and then spent the whole corner trying to just correct that. Broke too early there and then messed up the rest of the corner. Turn 1 is going to be hectic. I think turn 1 is going to be a bit crazy. No doubt about it. Because it's easy to just outbrake yourself like there. I did slightly, just a metre off, but it means you can't get into the apex and didn't get on the power early enough there. Interesting, I lost time there. So improvements to find. So guys, here we are, afternoon session. I won't be around for the Nations Cup races tonight, so I thought I'd jump on here, have a quick go on here, and see how we get on. Bit of a mixed field here, A, Bs. Where have I qualified? 13th on the grid. Oh my goodness me, I'm a long way down, aren't I? So I really do need to get my time up a bit. Again, it's one of those things, but I think we'll just see how we get on today. I think that we're not really in a good place. So in the top three can tend to get round the corner. I actually think the midfield is just going to be a bit of a mess. So we're just going to have to see where we go. But it is what it is. And we'll just look at, there's only one tyre. So it's just a matter of choosing when the right time is to change tyres. Just have a look at the tyre settings here. I'm going to take this race in a quite basic way today. I'm not going to do anything in terms of fuel and all that business. I'm just going to sort of race around and do my best, really. That's all I can do today. We've got Adam here, man. Lots of people coming in now. Nice to see your chat, everybody. So this race normally creates mayhem on the first lap, and I'm expecting nothing different today. We'll do what we can. We'll do what we can, viewers, and have a fun race with some action. Action all the way through the field today. It's going to be action. We're starting 13th. We'd like to finish top 10. So I'd say the wheel is getting a bit excited. Let's just get a hold of that for a minute. There we are. Okay, standing starts. Dun 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 dun. All right. Going so slow into the corner. Oh, he's going for an overtake. Damn, I should have used my push to pass. Should have used my push to pass then. I wasn't really thinking about that. I was thinking about other things. Doesn't matter. So 6th place. First race in this Super Formula on this setting. bit slow at the moment. We know we can go 2 seconds on quicker than that in race. So we definitely have more speed we can find. Damn, got the gear on there. It's going third, went up and down. This guy's quite close behind, so I'm just going to use a little bit of boost there just to stay ahead of him. Wasting a bit here, but what we're just going to do is slow us both down here. Oh dear, I did cause a bit of drama, didn't I? can't talk much because there's quite a concentration here, guys. Ooh. No, I'm not going to drive with that it was with hands and all that business. So it's not very good, really. I had quite a good pit stop then, didn't I? A bit leery. Oh, very leery up ahead there, isn't he? Can happen, can't it? Can catch you out. Defend myself. Defend. Defend. I thought, you know what, I could go for the apex. I'm not going to because we're only going to cause a pile up then. But he did well. He did well. Had I braked where I was going to, then I could see we were just going to take each other out. That's a shame. Shame. Sometimes it's just a lot to think about because I don't know what the fuel is in this race, and I'm short shifting a little bit, and I'm thinking, do I need to brake or do I not? If I run the race again now, I know that I can run a bit more lean on fuel in terms of the way I'm driving. So the last lap was a bit more, you know, pushing a bit more without fuel saving so much. I've been doing a bit of fuel saving because I've had a lot of bad luck with fuel lately. So 3.4 seconds back to the next car. Bearing in mind we started in 13th place. I'm actually okay at the moment. Bit of a bad balls up on that lap. Let's get back into the groove again now. Let's hope that's a bit quicker. That's better, it's more like it. Should have been quicker, shouldn't we? I should have been using more fuel. And we've got someone with a penalty ahead. He's just quit. Taking it a bit easier here, because why not? I'm just thinking, let's just bring it back now. Okay, fair enough. Oh, so we got a few people here. I'll catch up with the chat now, guys. So it's quite a concentrating race there for a couple of reasons. We're high concentration in terms of I didn't know where my brake balance should be. I didn't quite know where my how much boost I should be using at what time, what I should be doing with fuel. As it was, fuel is sort of marginal in that race. So thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? You know, we just can't get the notifications out there. It's so strange. Yeah, some people are. They're pushing the fuel to the limit. it is tricky at the hairpins, but up 5 positions, that's not bad, is it? That's a solid race result there, viewers. So I'm quite pleased about that, actually. It's reasonable. A bit more credits in the bank, and a rather interesting race for you guys to watch as well, which is nice. So that was a solid race. I don't think there was anything spectacular in it as such. I thought it was just a case of I did defend my position at one point, which caused a little argy-bargy behind me with all the guys just sort of bumping into each other there, which was good fun to look at. But I think that's it really. The top guys were too quick for me. I think if you look at their best laps, they're sort of on another level really. So I'm really reasonably pleased with the room there in terms of, you know, starting 13th and moving up 5 places. I think that's okay. Not too bad. Let's have a look and take a look at what that means to the whole stats situation as well. And I'll catch up on some of your comments as well in a moment. Because, as I say, some of these races, they're quite heavy concentration, and it's difficult to sort of talk while you're driving sometimes because there's so much going on, you know. It's all right when you've got, you know, not a lot to it, but let's have a look. So it didn't actually do anything for my points, actually. They're almost virtually the same. That's fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. Right, let's take the old headphones off because my head's getting hot. Cool down a minute after that. Always a little bit warm. Hot ears, goodness. So, did you map your overtake button? I did, Manuel. I did use the overtake button a couple of times there. There was one time I didn't near the beginning where I thought, you know, sometimes the overtake button is quite handy later in the race because other people's tyres wear, and you know they're vulnerable at that point into braking. But I don't feel there's much in the way of options for strategy in that race other than pitting slightly earlier, and then you get a good lap on the fresh rubber to get ahead of people. I don't think there's many options to get anywhere in that race. It's tricky, isn't it? Where am I from? I'm from London, good old London. So not too bad. We're gonna have another little race in a minute. My qualifying lap is obviously not good enough. I need to put in a faster qualifying lap. I suppose we can. We'll add it to the next race, and we'll attempt to do our qualifying run. I don't think we'll get anywhere today. So absolutely, Angie, my feet are always freezing. I mean, bloody hell, this metal plate. I've got to get this metal plate off. That's what it is. There's a metal plate here on these Thrustmaster pedals, and it's always cold, and I've got to get it off. Wide brake bias to the front, for me that's how it works. It gives me more front direction. It helps me to brake a bit later into the corners. It really works in terms of leaning the car into the corner. I find that for me my braking is slightly different style. It feels less stable into the corner, braking to the rear. So that's if I'm trying to go quickly, I put my brakes to the front. I guess you could say I like a slightly more pointy car in the sense that I like it to get into the corner rather than an understeery car. And you can get some understeer having brakes to the rear. Depends on the car, mind you, but yeah, these cars are more sensitive because they're at such high speed, you know. Brandon, I'm using a Thrustmaster TGT wheel here with a Formula rim add-on and a LED display, a Thrustmaster LED display. So this works with Gran Turismo from the PS4 basically, so Formula 1, Gran Turismo, stuff like that, you know, so stuff like that. No, I'm not married. And then what else we got here? Let's go have a chat here. So we had iMorph coming in earlier with his raiding. Thank you for that. With Connor, what would you say is the best racing game on Xbox at the moment? On Xbox, best racing game. That's a difficult decision, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's difficult to say, really. I mean, you've got between Forza Motorsport, you know, Forza, so you've got Project Cars. You know, futuristic wise, you've got Red Out and Grip. I think there's a decent selection on there of racing games. I just, you know, for me, I prefer Gran Turismo to Forza Motorsport simply because of the physics, the online setup, and just general playability of it. It's just another league, frankly. And Forza, Forza used to be forging ahead. I mean, Forza 1, 2, 3, 4 Brilliant games. So, you know, we'll wait and see what happens there. Yeah, I've been playing. I was playing Crash Bandicoot karting yesterday, so I've got a video coming up on that probably tomorrow, something like that. Crash Bandicoot, which was fun enough. Crash Bandicoot. Was it Nitro Karts? So we've got that coming. We've not got enough time to put in a lap now, so this will probably position me in the same place. But let's see how we go and go from there. Lots of personal questions, Nuruddin. Trackmania Turbo, I was asked here, Attorneys. We used to play a bit of Trackmania Turbo on the Xbox here, and I might do it again at some point when I'm playing something a bit more chilled. This is quite intense, this racing, but at the same time I feel that Gran Turismo makes a good audience thing. You know, it's like watching real motorsport, watching these races. You know, everybody's so good once you get to this level. Brandon uses Fnatic. I do as well, Brandon. But I swap them over because I'm doing some rallying. So that's why I've got the Thrustmaster on here. I'm going to be doing some rallying. So the Sparko Rally Rim and the Sparko Handbrake are really good for the rally. So that's why. I've got this wheel on here, because this rim is very easy to swap over and remove. I don't have an actual rally rim for the Fnatic. But I like to swap them over, because also 16th on the grid. Oh, that ain't so good, is it? Damn, that's not great. That's not great. I could have done with being a bit higher on the grid than that, but never mind. You know, it's down to me. I haven't had the time to put in the lap. I reckon I can put in a one. I've got probably a low 126 in me. I don't have a 124 or 125. I won't have time to do that, but certainly a low 126. Yeah, I agree about the names in the replays. It'd be good if they had something like Formula 1. They had just had a standard layout. Right, let's jump in then. A little warm up again. And then we'll dive onto the bridge again, viewers. Back up to the bridge. I was actually impressed in the last race of how good everybody was. I mean, hardly anyone crashed off, frankly. It was, I mean, the top 8, nobody went off. Nobody made a single mistake. Amazing. I'm definitely losing time all around the track, really. I'm not that quick, am I? I need to find some more speed. iSpark. Yeah, I mean, T150 is a solid starting wheel. It's a really sort of entry level, but you can still do good. I suppose I swap the wheels over sometimes because I like to prove to people that you can still do great racing with any of these wheels. You know, it really is down to just putting the time in, you know. But if you're really serious about your driving, the pleasure you get from having a good wheel, it just makes all the difference. Right, I better concentrate now, guys. Let's see how we get on here. All right. Ah, there's always idiots, isn't there, doing their thing. What's he doing, this guy? He's going really slowly for some reason. Strange driving there. He just went really slowly for a second. I don't quite know what he was doing. These guys are quick, no doubt about it. Man, people are quick on this now. I've clearly missed Gran Turismo Formula School at the moment because everybody's got a lot quicker. I've got somebody walking around on the roof of my house here for some reason, I don't know why. Oh, he tried to take me out. Well, he took me out and didn't get a penalty. How about that? Brilliant. Brilliant. That's a shame. That's a shame there, viewers. It's always a bit of a bummer when you see a bit of that. You know, he had no chance of overtaking me then. He just decided to push me out. Can't believe he gets away with things like that without a penalty, you know. It's just really feels unfair when somebody just pushes you off cynically in that way and just seems to get away with it, you know. Especially when I'm somebody who, I suppose, just likes to play by the rules, as it were. I mean, we could all start doing that, and I do feel there's a lot more of that going on these Formula cars. He's done me, isn't he? shows, you know, you lose, like, literally, I've lost all these places, because when you get hit, I know it sounds silly, but it really puts you out of your rhythm for a few corners, and then you have to kind of find your feel again, where you're in the zone of it all. But I'll try and keep it together now. Oh, no. Oh, God. Damn. I got it wrong there, didn't I? Ah. Ah, that was a disaster. Just clipped it. That was only micro clip as well, but it was enough to do the damage. Now, I don't know if I pitted a lap too late there. I think I did actually, so... Come on. Shit, he's got me. Damn. Oh, and he gave me a little nudge as well. It's not very nice. That was inevitable though. Oh. Oh, fuck it. Damn it. That was just getting on the power and just at the wrong time I hit him and that it sent my wheels into a spin. That's a shame. Good finish gone there, but what can you do? Very frustrating, you know. Just bumped into him when I was on the power and it sent me into a spin, and that's it then. Oh well, good result down the pan there, viewers. Could have been a good result on the final lap. Bloody lights blinding me. Oh, we're on the final lap. I thought that was the final lap. Yeah, it's ruined my tyres now anyway. So I can't really do anything now. But that's a shame. Just hit the back of him just at the second I was getting on the power, and it just sent the car into a spin then. And then recovering is really hard because you've got to go down to first gear really. Anyone who's played with traction control off on these cars knows my pain there. Never mind, viewers, never mind. That should have been probably whatever, a bit higher, but these things happen, so there you have it, we got Mr. Gamer Muscle here. That was a bit of a disappointing race in the end, viewers. Disappointing. I mean, we're up 4 places, but we should have been up, I don't know, at least another 5 more there, I think. If that had all gone to plan, but darn it, motor racing, eh? Some you win, some you lose. Very frustrating. It's very difficult when you're starting from 16th on the grid though to get anywhere, isn't it, really? Especially in these sessions. I mean, the fact that I'm getting near the top 10, but you know, you're 20 seconds behind first place after like the first 2 laps just because you're trying to get through everybody, and that really was an interesting race. But I don't know who the guy was. Brunovsky was the guy causing the bit of the barging there, and it was a dirty. These races are a bit dirty. These Super Formula races. It does Gamer Muscle. That's why I have all the music turned off, apart from the generic bits they have. There's no music now. It's just pure silence, just me talking and keeping you company while you're lonely on a Wednesday afternoon. You're just lonely there, and you're just thinking about life, and then what have you got? The voice of Alan to keep you company, to give you reason, to give you racing, and that's what I'm here for, is to give you all racing today. And as I'm not around for the FIA races this evening, I thought I'd jump on and lose a bit on here. I really do need to put in a better qualifying lap, don't I? It's my pain, you know. It's like, these races. A little break for a minute. We've just had 2 races with drama. 2 races with drama, viewers. I think I need a bit of qualifying for a bit, actually. What time is it? Probably time for just the one more race, but they are intense. There is some music from the game, yeah, so before a race starts there's a bit of music, and occasionally after they end there's a bit of music, just a sort of riff, but the core music tracks are all switched off in the game. They have an internet playlist or something that if you play it you're not supposed to get copyright. I did, even on the internet playlist, so I just turned it all off basically and said, right, that's that then, there's no point. And I kind of think it's a little bit dirty, because there are literally thousands of videos where people have turned on the internet safe copyright list and then got hit with various issues, and someone else is making revenue from their videos and all that. And Gran Turismo know this is the case. They're knowingly putting music in the game that will get copyrighted, or they're not doing anything about it. And I think that's a bit of a shame where Gran Turismo are concerned, honestly. They really should sort that. But in the meantime, no music. That's the solution. And yeah, a bit of afternoon racing on GT Sports. Do we have time for one more race today? It is quite intense. I feel quite tired. I could do with a cup of tea, but a cup of tea is not forthcoming in 2 minutes, is it? It won't have time to brew, sadly. So we have what's left of my glass of water. and then we will voice of Alan. The skylight. It might be more of a deeper voice, wouldn't it? I mean, we can do sort of a. Yeah, you can sort of do a Darth Vader with this, actually. Yes, the rebels are. That is the system, and I'm sure Skywalker is with them. Huh? How about that? How about that? See, that's not what you expected this afternoon, is it? That's not what you. Oh, viewers. So, Game of Muscle. What game are you going to be playing today? Game of Muscle. What are you going to be playing? What's your bag today? What do you want? Tea's what I need right now. I feel like I'm drained because I need a tea. We've got 54 seconds to decide if we're going to race this or not. I feel a bit tired after all that. These races are really intense, guys. You're playing Rearrange the Basement. That sounds amazing. You do have days like this, so I always say to people, you know, when I change over my steering wheels and my pedals and my rig stuff, one, it all weighs a ton, and two, it's a full-on day's work. You know, it's changing pedals and wheels, and people say, why don't you do it all the time? Well, I do it every few months because it's just a complete hassle. All right, go on then. We'll have one more race because weekly races, and then I'll jump off and do something else. But the good news is, in both races, we've moved up, haven't we? So I have to go, unfortunately, after this one today, viewers. So I've got some other things I've got to crack on with. We're a busy few days ahead. And then, I'll be back for a stream on Friday. So a bit more streaming on Friday. I mean, probably between now and then I'll have to set a better qualifying lap because my qualifying lap is really, it's going to place me at the back of the grid again. So got to do that. Game of Muscle has a new desk. Lovely. Lovely. That sounds very plush. Does it have LED lights and look nice? Let's just see what I'm doing here. So see where we finish up. So sadly, no, we're dropping down the order again. Let's see. All right. So let's see where we are. Last race of the day then. I'm dropping down the ranking at the moment, not going up, but that's purely because that's going to be nice. Like I say, Game Muscle, get your LED lights sorted out. That'll be good. Okay, so I'm not expecting again much of this race. I'm starting 15th place on the grid again. You know, honestly, these guys are so much quicker than me at the front there. You know, they're just winning every single race because they've got special tactics, basically. I mean, they know how to take corners. I mean, when you think that they're 3 seconds a lap quicker than me, and I don't even know what they're doing, really. I mean, I do have a look at the qualifying laps, and I still don't understand what people are doing to go so fast. If I had a cup of tea, I'd probably be doing better, for sure. But I've got to get off here and do some other stuff, so it's going to be I think it does, actually. I think it rehydrates and it gives me energy. You know, after these races, you know, I'm just like drained, you know. These races are quite intense in particular because the car is so, as they would say, skittish. You know, you can see there I bumped into another car and span out basically, and it's that skittish really when you're racing it. So I might even try traction control on this race just to see where I am in terms of lap time performance and how far off I am. I don't think I'll be too far off actually, but I think I'll be some way off where I would have been. So we'll just have to wait and see, and then go from there. So just have to see. It's everyone's got some serious skills though, no doubt about it, and it's just trying to just trying to find where everybody's quick, really. Sometimes it's little things like I'm going through the corner in the wrong gear, or my line's wrong, or there's more grip with one area or the other, or stuff like that, or a brake bias is wrong. There's all these little things, and you can get half a second on a corner here and there. But sometimes I look at laps and I think, oh, I just don't know how I can do some things much quicker. Or sometimes, if I hooked my whole lap up, I've got a 1:26.1 at the moment in me, but that's about it. Maybe a 1:25.8 I think I did somewhere down the line. But that's about as quick as I can go. I can do a 1:24. But let's jump in again, viewers. Next race. And we'll focus on this again. Going to turn 1. Hope for the best and see where we come out the other side. It's starting from this point on the grid is the worst, I tell you. We're right in the thick of the melee here. Even when you get a good start. If you get a good start, it means you're... Oh man, I'm getting pushed into. Getting hit off the track. And there's not much you can do about that, is there really? That's a shame. Down to last place. Ah, well, last race of the day, that's a real shame, isn't it? You know, I was kind of hoping that we get somewhere, but I think the problem is, you know, if someone kicks you off the track like that, and you go from wherever we were right down to last place, and not much you can do, is there really? But we're going to try traction control on this race. I just want to see as an experiment now. It doesn't really matter now. We're not going to get higher than 15th with the literally someone just rammed us completely off the track then, so there's really not much we can do at a time like that. So we're just going to have to sit here now and see where we end up. Last place, the other guys quit, so now I'm definitely going to leave traction control on, because the situation we saw before is when you're without traction, you're vulnerable when you get hit a lot more. So we just want to try and remain we know where to go here. These guys are all kind of all over the place, aren't they? Blimey. You know, all these players are good players. I mean, none of these players are really what I call quite get the traction on the inside then. Damn it, this guy's moving around a bit, isn't he? Very hard to overtake people when they have such sort of sporadic movement. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to predict what they're going to do and how to race them. Wow! There's Cones there giving him some air. Somebody with a penalty. My goodness me, I didn't even know that was even possible. And then he went over the dirt. Didn't lose traction. That's so weird. What the hell is going on here? Now you might be thinking, why did I avoid the ghosted cars? Because you can still hit them, that's why. It doesn't always mean that they're invisible. Use a bit of boost, go on. Use a bit of boost. Give me a push. Gave me a push off the track and got away with it. Okay. That's what I mean. That's the sort of thing that I just don't like. You know, when you can just nudge somebody off the track and get away with it. When I overtook him fair and square. Good, good.
We're going to go full on fuel. Depends where we come out, that's all. If we come up behind a back marker, we're buggered. Fully fueled up. I thought, let's go for it. He's overtaken me on the fuel stop, which is a bit of a pain because he might have been fuel saving. It shows, you know, when you think you're doing well and then you have your pit stop and you come out right back where you started. But let's see where we are. We're just trying the traction control method to see how it works after that last race. Because basically, it cost me in the end when that incident happened, and so it goes. Straight, quick as we can, get past this dude. And I got it wrong. I missed my braking point. Do you know what happened there? I saw a cone. I was using a cone as a braking point, and the cone had been hit. And I only realised the second I braked that the cone had been hit. So, just one of those things, really. One braking point missed, and then that ruins your whole bloody race. Well, to be fair, it got ruined on the first lap, didn't it? But we're doing our best, viewers. We're doing our best. It's so difficult, you know. We're trying to get past people. Laps are slower this race, though, aren't they? So I'm about half a second a lap slower than I was without the traction control. Gear down too low there. Damn, 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 damn. Saw the wrong cone for braking points. Would have been fine for the corner if I'd seen the right cone. So it's just like you say, sometimes you get slightly unsighted and boom. It's a little bit like that at the start. You know, sometimes I have a braking point at the start of a race and I brake early or late or whatever. Well, I tend to brake early because I can't see it, you see. Whereas there I thought, oh, I can see my braking point. And then I hit the brakes and realised, oh, that's not the right cone. I'm going off. And then tried to brake with the gears, but by then it's too late. You're already sailing right off, as they would say, to the scene of the accident, as Martin Brundle would say. Mainly those situations like this come from, frustration really. Like, you're on the first lap, you get taken out, you're then out of position, you're surrounded by people that you're marginally quicker than. But it's not easy overtaking people, even all these other drivers, I mean, we'd probably been in the top 5 if we hadn't been taken out, but these things happen. And boom. And we look at that, the top place though, I mean, 1:26.9. I have no idea how you do a time like that. Just no clue. No clue how you do a time like that. Someone behind us who may have pitted a bit later. So my tyres are a bit more worn now, so especially with the off I've had, I've definitely damaged my tyres. Will defend. He had much fresher tyres there, didn't he? I had to brake a bit earlier for that. Couldn't risk going off again. We're in for an exciting final lap here, viewers, because there's somebody up ahead with more worn tyres, well, probably worn as mine. They probably pitted about the same time. And it's causing all kinds of drama here. I even predicted right on the fuel, didn't I? Did you notice I overfilled my car earlier? Oh well, 20th to 3rd at the end of lap 1. Not much more we can do there really. That's a frustrating race. You know what happens is that when you get taken out like that on the first lap, what goes through your mind is you go back to last place and then you think two things really. First thing, there is a moment of calmness where you think, sod it, you know, I'm not going to get anywhere now. And then comes across your mind the moment of, actually no, I'm a racer, I want to get somewhere. And then you think, I want to make up for, I need a bit more, I need to find a bit more speed just to get me up there, and that's how mistakes like that sort of happen really. But you know, the other thing in racing is, I suppose in a way it's a bit like the whole Senna thing. If you see a gap, sometimes you've got to go for it, but that was all down to me just not seeing a braking marker. And when you're braking, there's all things you use, like some areas, like turn 1, I use tarmac texture. So there's a bit of darker tarmac texture, which is the latest point you brake. And that's what I use. But if I can't see that tarmac texture, I use a cone or I use something else that I can see on that side. So when it crosses my peripheral vision, I know I have to be on the braking point at this point. So give or take. But what happened is sometimes people hit those cones a little bit and it moves it. And of course, then you're over there, you think you're in the right place, and actually you're in the wrong. And that's kind of how it works with overtaking, because you're completely off where you would normally be. So it's always to do with peripheral sort of vision, as it were, in terms of finding that braking point. Have a look at that. We'll have a little break for a minute. So that was let's see, that guy Shane Runner that quit, did he? No? Not quite what happened there, but someone wasn't happy with him, were they? But yeah, it was that was a disappointing race really in terms of overall performance. I was definitely slower, so that was a little test then to see how fast I was traction control on to traction control off. And what I found then was that traction control off, I'm half a second a lap quicker, maybe a bit more. But when you're going into battle with other people, traction control is quite handy to have, because obviously once you do get hit, the wheels can spin up easily. So it's something to consider if you're going into, if you've got like 3 or 4 cars having a battle. It depends on the type of corners. I mean, for me, my problem earlier is when I hit a slow corner, just hit that point as I was getting on the power in second gear, and that was it. Just sent the car into a spin. There's really very little you can do at that point. It's very frustrating, you know, especially like several of those races could have ended up in a good result today. But have a little break now, because we've just had 3 quite intense races, none of which have done any good to my stats whatsoever. Disastrous day on the stats, but you know, that's how it happens. I'm well off the pace on this car, which is really frustrating, because I can't help but feel that this is the sort of car that I should excel in, really. I'm just sort of almost at a loss now. So I've really got to knuckle down later this week in terms of getting my head around where I'm going wrong with this car, because I'm a good second a lap slower than I should be, you know. And I was definitely quicker when we raced this car before, but I'm much quicker and more comfortable with a Honda than I am with a Toyota. I think that's another thing that's quite interesting. I'm much more comfortable driving the Honda. It just feels better to me. The Toyota just feels, as Mark Blundell would say, that the Toyota just feels more skittish. That was his favourite word, I remember, skittish. Everything was skittish. So, hot work, viewers. I tell you, this racing lark is hot work. So yeah, chat. We've got King Jev here as well. Hello, Jev. Hello, Gamer Muscle here has been putting the washing out. Good man, and building a desk. He's, you know, what a day! What a day! It's all excitement going on in the world of Gamer Muscle, and we await more. And Jev, I hope you do well tonight in the good luck in the FIA Nations tonight. I won't be on, but good luck in those. Goodness me, wasn't it a disaster for me the other day? I don't think I've ever been barged off the track so much in my life. I mean, literally every race was bumper cars, and I've realised a bit with this race today. I've been bumped off a few times, and even if people do get penalties, you lose 10 seconds when you get knocked off the track. The penalty is like 2 or 4. They still come out ahead of you. So it's it is a bit of a pain with these cars. It's penalties are a mess basically, but I need to put in a better qualifying time if I'm going to do any more races, that's for sure. Oh, I've got a bonus. What's these? I don't even barely look at this section really, but here we go. We've got races finished. There we are. There we are. Claim bonus. Look at that, a massive 3,000 credits. That really did make a difference to me, didn't it? Wow. Wow. And all the rest of it's never going to get completed, or maybe it will one day. It's picking up gradually. Picking up gradually. Drift points, look at that, 0. No way am I going to do drifting. It's just never going to happen. And we see there the wonderful A86. Never going to drive it. At least not how it's supposed to be driven. Let's take a look at a replay. I just want to look at a replay of that for a minute while we chill, viewers. We chill. It's 3 very intense races today. And I will be making a move in a bit. But I thought we'd just have a little look at the replays. Right, hold on. Just going to chill for a minute. So, Forza Ferrari says, have you tried iRacing, Alan? I have. I enjoyed iRacing, actually. And hopefully soon I'll be able to run it again on the PC and do a bit of iRacing as well. Get into a bit of that. Certainly I'm happy to do it with iRacing that doesn't involve intense car tuning or anything. You know, I just want to spec car and drive. You know, if that's available, then that's more my bag, basically. So I'm definitely going to look into iRacing. The only problem with iRacing is I might not drive many tracks because they take so long to learn that I just don't have the time or the just don't have the time really to do it. You know, it's just not possible. I mean, even time here is so limited just doing Gran Turismo. At least I can pick Gran Turismo up. And the thing about these cars and tracks is because they're on a loop, I know that any practice I do now, it sort of helps me next time. Next time the track comes around on the loop, I've learned a fair bit about how to do laps on it. You know, where it would take me a couple of hours now to learn a track, it will take me 15 minutes when the track comes around again, and I can be relatively back up to speed. But these cars, I'm definitely well off the pace here. It's a shame Runner was in the lead, so something clearly happened there. Take a look at that. And I'm just going to change view for a minute. So it was all action at turn 1. It's very difficult keeping it clean because everybody's braking late and bumping into each other and stuff like that. I'm trying to just mind my own business there, as you can see. There's a bit of movement on the inside there. I nudge across, that's fine, whatever. And so I'm just thinking, well, let's just block. And then that guy went in the back of me there, which pushed me into him, which he probably thinks it was me going into him, but it wasn't. And then round here, that guy there just lost it on his own wheels, and then that guy went into the back of me there and literally pushed me off. That's quite. Let's just back up a little bit there because I just want to. So this guy here, look at him. He literally just drove me off the track. What is this guy? Keto 25. That's unbelievable. He didn't even get a penalty. That's just unbelievable, isn't it? Let me see his start actually. So he started right down at the back of the grid, and you get a bit of mayhem, don't you, at turn 1 here? You always get a bit of mayhem. So if you can keep yourself relatively safe, you can get through there. But he got hit in the back there himself, and then now I don't know whether he thought I took that guy out or what, but he just went into me there. Oh, he got hit himself by that guy then. So the first hit was him. Quite interesting. The first hit was him, and then the second hit was someone going in the back of him. Yeah. Weird, you know. This is what you deal with, guys, in racing. You know, it's and that basically was it, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know. Where was I? I was in battling for 12th, and then that sent me all the way back to 20th place, miles behind the final car. 10th place I was in at this point, and you think that's it, 10th place. I'd have been comfortably in the top 5 probably if I just kept that going with the speed and strategy. But then what happens is that for those of you who don't know, you get back on the track, your tyres get mashed up basically by all the sliding about, and so then it's really hard to get any kind of speed. But look at the bumping going on for everybody. I mean, it really is these Formula cars, for some reason, I've never seen so much bumping in Gran Turismo before. It's almost like they've dialed back the penalty system a bit. I don't think it's working. I really do feel that they need to keep it quite strict. That all this knocking into cars thing is not done basically. So, oh look, hit again. So he's going a bit slow there though, but we've got a big 4 batch there, just bumping into him, and yeah, that was a drama-filled lap, wasn't it? Drama-filled lap, but of course it sends me all the way to the back. But if we just move up the field now, that's the wrong button. All there's drama there. 2 Red Bulls. But I don't use a Red Bull skin, it's too generic. Everybody uses it. So that's the guy that went. This is the guy that sort of went into all of us early on there. So give or take, you get a good idea. Got a nice Jaguar livery there up ahead. I used the Jordan, of course, on the Honda car, using a Toyota livery on this particular car. It's quite close in the field there. I just want to see what happens up at the front, because there was clearly some Shane seems to be in the lead here. So, oh, we've got a nice Benetton 92 there as well. I've got one of those skins as well, Benetton 92. That's nice. And it's quite close between these guys, isn't it? My goodness, putting in good laps, but at the same time, really quick. These guys probably racing each other again right now. You know, they just do it all day long, don't they? You can imagine doing like 10 races a day, Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday. You know, that's why everybody's so good at it. And you come on here and you're like, wow, super quick guys, but time you need to put into this is unbelievable. So I can't see anything going, no action going on there, is there really? I mean, the first 4 are so quick that it's hard to overtake when you get to that speed, because you're relying a little bit on people messing up to an extent. So there was me down in 17th place. So, you know, we worked our way up, and obviously a couple of mistakes, and then that causes all the problems. But oh, that's the jumping car there, wasn't it? That's the jumping car. Let's have a look at that. The jumping car. And there it is. What a leap. Awesome. It's like literally off the course and back on it again. So see that one more time, viewers. Bit of action. Round the corner here. On the power quickly. And there he goes over the grass and leaps back on the track. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, this chap in front here, Man UC, well, bit of a dodgy dealer when it came to the whole racing thing here. I mean, I'm trying to just mind my own business. Often I'm just trying to mind my own business in these races, you know. I don't want any contact with people. I just want to get through it. But it's very hard, you know. You've got to, because people are getting away with so much of this bumping now, it's becoming a part of the actual racing, and I haven't been doing it. But so much of it, I mean, there, that guy probably got nudged off. I just want to take a look at that, actually. That was quite a good, let's just see. So he's going around behind Craig. He's hit him a couple of times there, and he's just bumping him off. Look, he just bumped him off the track, basically. There, just bumped him off the track. I mean, there's like literally cars bumping each other off the track the whole time. Unbelievable. So. Oh, and that was me coming up there on the inside, and I hit the curb badly there. He probably thought I did it on purpose, but that was me just losing slight control, and then he decided to, I think, bash into me now. So he just goes into me basically somewhere. So it's, I think what it is, when you're driving with an aggressive, I'm going to bump into you mentality, you think that everyone else is doing the same thing. You know, everyone else is out there to just crash into you. In actual fact, we just want to mind our own business and get on with racing. I mean, this guy behind me here has a quick few corners and he keeps bumping into me. Just really bad sportsmanship, you know. It makes you wonder why he's got an S rank sportsmanship rating. You know, when you see all these contacts in one race. He's already taken a guy out and got no penalty for it. I mean, that's really bad. This never used to happen, by the way. When I started playing this in December, every time you hit somebody or that person went off the track after you hit them in particular, you got some form of penalty. Whereas now I'm finding that people are just, you know, getting nothing, you know, in terms of... I didn't realise how close he was, actually. Didn't look that close in the mirror. But then again, it's like they say, objects may be closer than they first appear or something. And then just covering the inside here, moving across. Again, gave me another nudge, didn't he? So he knew what he was doing there, nudged me off the course. And that's it. That's the second time he's nudged somebody off with no penalty. You know, when you're racing that, it's just not possible to get anywhere, basically. That's the sort of thing that really lets the game down, isn't it? When you see that kind of thing. Yeah, so intense now, up into 13th for this guy. He does actually go off the track and make a mistake in the end. So, and look at that. That's another guy shoved off the track. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So he's taken out 3 or 4 cars at least. We haven't even followed the whole race. And this is what I mean. When you've got a tactic and you know you get behind people and all you need to do is nudge them off and you'll get away with it, then that's all they're going to do over and over again. Here we go. Let's see if this guy gets it as well. It's really interesting, isn't it? When you look at other drivers and you see how they take some of these corners, just where they're going quick and where they're not. There we are. Bye. That's nice. You see, for me, that's a little bit of justification there. Oh, there we are. Never mind. Never mind. There you go. So, that is interesting, isn't it? That is interesting. So, yeah, I mean, interesting racing there. Interesting pit strategies and stuff like that. There's different pit strategies you can do, but you know, I think that was quite an interesting race. One problem is the fuel, isn't it? I mean, I pitted then on lap 6. Was it lap 6 or something? And the fuel, if you pit, you can't pit on lap 5. You know, you have to pit lap 6 or later. So, giving up now, isn't he? Giving up all that dirty driving. And he was going to speed up again and try taking somebody out, but no good. No good. Oh dear, oh dear. That's got to be frustrating, isn't it? Oh dear. There you go, viewers. So that was good fun, wasn't it? I enjoyed seeing that. It's a result, taking all those people out. Look at me, I'm down in 17th place at the moment. Goodness, having my fuel done. So I was way down the order again at this point. And then I make my own mistake. And could have done okay. Could have done okay. But, you know, like I say, overdriving it towards the end there. Does anyone know where the FIA race? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a track I didn't like anyway, probably, so not that bothered. I have to make a move in a way shortly, but it was 2 braking marker cones. Whatever caught my eye, I was looking for an orange thing and something 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 wasn't right, or my eye didn't see it properly, or whatever. So, as I say to people who don't know, when you're braking on the wrong side of the track, you're always sort of looking for that thing that's over there somewhere and thinking, right, I know that when I go past that I have to brake. So it's not the same as a braking. Like, I use a lot of things like where the curb is, braking, like when a curb starts, or where a bit of marks in the ground are, or stuff like that. I have lots of little things that indicate to me where my brakes are. Sometimes it can be the colour of the barriers or something. Sometimes I'm using the cone markers. I think the cone markers are really handy sometimes to roughly know where you are. But you've got to practice so that you're not completely reliant on the cones, but at the same time the cones are helpful for occasionally knowing what's what. But you can see here we were gradually improving. I mean, improving over a lot of cars there. I mean, I lost 8 seconds when I went off the track, so you know that cost me a good I say good finish, but half decent finish. Let's just see who else is in the pits actually, because I've had so no one else is in the pits now, so I'm guessing everybody's done with their pit stops now. Yeah, I don't know if everybody has the cones on or off, what other people see. That's a really good point, Rene. I have no idea what other people see. JD Max was here earlier. Sorry, JD, I missed earlier. Speedstar GT. They don't see the cones, but they can knock them out because I can see them. So that's interesting. I mean, I find the cones quite helpful. You know, so, but they're not essential. And this is where I made my mistake now. And I was looking over, maybe the cone was hit, maybe it wasn't, but I just looked at the orange, cork orange at the edge of my eye, hit the brakes. There. I was looking at that cone, I was looking at the wrong cone. So what happened here was, so now I know what happened. I was looking at the wrong cone. Oh, what's going on here? So the important part, as Anthony Davidson would say, is that point there. So do you see where I am? I can't see the cone, right? So I'm concentrating on my racing, not my driving at this point. And I'm thinking, right, I can just see orange, and I'm looking at something else at this point, whether I'm boosting or doing something else, whatever I was doing. And then I realised, probably at this point, that, oh, that cone's in the wrong place. I'm looking at the wrong cone. I'm going to hit the brakes. I'm already braking now. I can't quite tell here, but oh no, I'm not. There. So I'm braking at that point just a second later than I should have been, really. And if you look at the other view, do you see there's this? If we cut across to another guy's car, just to show you something that you see these brake marks that are on the ground? So if we go on somebody else's car for a second, okay, so just to show you the sort of things I use as a brake marker. Different for everybody, by the way. You've got to use what suits you. So you've got the cones, which are phase 1 marker. That's a really good point to let you know you're getting to the braking zone. But do you see these black marks just in the floor, just up ahead here? There. Right, we're just on them there, but that's the actual braking point. That's where you're braking hard, okay? And you're braking down into third, right, around here. Of course, I've missed them, and I go straight off. And I'm trying to slow down, but just completely wrong on my braking, and that's it then. And once you're on the dirt, well, that's it then, obviously. And so it's one of those things, really. But, I mean, partially it was down to my impatience with my frustration of being taken out earlier, and sometimes you try to overdrive a bit to get, because we want to get on with it, because the last thing I want to do is get stuck behind these guys in their battle. And really, my qualifying time puts me down with players that I'm better than. It's just that I'm not very good at setting qualifying laps. That's just one of my problems when it comes to racing games, is I'm not a qualifying guy. I find lapping really boring and dull. I find it a grind, absolute grind. So that worked for him there, didn't it? I mean, he And that guy's still, oh wow, yeah, so there you go. I mean, as soon as you lose it, it's a real pain getting going again. And that's it then, and you're all the way down. So that gives you an idea, viewers, of racing action. And you know, by then I'm sort of, well, that's it for me now. I'm sort of messed up my race, haven't I now? And I'm just trying to think, well, what can I do? Just go round and round and hope for the best, really. I mean, despite that, I mean, you think we've gone from 10th to 20th up to probably 11th, down to 14th. You know, 1 minute 36 lap. You think how much time we lost on that lap? You know, quite a lot of time. So it just shows, really. I mean, that first lap, 1:44 first lap. You know, I lost 10 seconds on the first lap, and I lost 16 seconds. I lost just in those two instances. 16 seconds lost. So it just shows you when you're racing, you think little things happen and they just completely ruin your race. And then what happens is those 1 minute 30s or 29s might have been quicker, but you know, you've damaged your tyres, and then you just can't get the same lap times. And that's one thing that Gran Turismo simulates really well, is tyre wear and car weight. I think it does a really good job with that. You know, as soon as you get onto a fresh set of tyres, you feel a huge difference in the car. It's so much more grippy, it's so much smoother to drive. Feeling through the wheel, it becomes more sort of grindy and bobbly as the tyres are wearing down. Suddenly it feels smooth, and you know, that's one thing the TGT wheel is brilliant at. It's giving you that tactile surface feedback, which is brilliant. Really, really good tactile surface feedback. Oh, a good racing action there. Hope you guys have enjoyed a bit of the chat here in terms of the look of it today, and you know, the look of the racing. I always like to give a bit of feedback in terms of my racing approach to things. You know, turn one is always a tricky one, you know, because as your tyres over grip or come out, they're a bit grippy, and you oversteer because there's more grip, or you can brake later sometimes, and there's a lot of practice required in understanding exactly where the car is. It's always different as well, depending on, like, once I locked my wheels and went off, I damaged my tyres, you know, so my tyres are now not as good as they were before. We're also using traction control this time, so we're losing half a second a lap on traction. And I think this lap is actually a much better lap, because it's, for once, I've just got a clear lap to get on with it, basically. There's very few laps where I felt I had a clear track just to get on with the racing. Josh is here as well, top fan. Well done, Josh, on Facebook as well. Well done. Good man. Thank you for supporting Team VVV. And yeah, it's good racing today, guys. So how have you guys found Super Formula? I really enjoy it. I think it's a great car, great addition. When Kaz told me in our video on YouTube there would be no open wheel racing, it's good that he reconsidered and did this for us, you know, because you know, it's really been a great addition to it. So lap 12, feeling disappointed really, but at the same time I'm still feeling quite racy. I'm not going to give up, am I? I'm, you know, defending my position there, but that guy had much newer tyres and was clearly able to brake much later than me, or if not, he just had better tyres. Simple as that, really, because he could brake a little bit later. I could see that though. His lap times were way quicker than mine. So sometimes that's a good thing, because when you let somebody by like that and they're in aggressive racing mood, you leave the door open for them to go and attack these guys in front, and before you know it, two of them could be off and two of them could have penalties. So sometimes you just got to go for it here. I mean, the driving in front was quite messy, but you want to get in the mix, but you almost don't at the same time. You kind of want to bide your time and look for an opportunity. And as we get round onto the final lap, it always gets a bit more desperate. So that's something to consider. So coming around this section, I've never been comfortable with that section. So you've got to throw the car in and then decelerate through the corner. And these are all deceleration corners essentially. You're going down a gear and down a gear and down a gear, and then you start to build up again, build up. And really I like to hit the curb on the inside a little bit, and then here there's a couple of lines through this corner, but I take a late apex. I don't think it's working for me at the moment, so that's definitely a part of the course where I'm losing time through the final corner. I need to find a better line through there, but I think given my action through the race at this point, I had one better lap earlier on 28, but I was doing 128 without traction comfortably earlier, whereas this time I wasn't able to get the same speed with traction control on. So traction control is marginally slower, but it really doesn't matter against if you're sort of C, D, E class. Traction control won't make any difference whatsoever to you. It's only when you're in better classes like this with top drivers and so on that you start to. But it does amaze me how much contact there was in a race like this. Wishbone, I wasn't aware of the penalty. I was aware of him pushing out the windscreen, but I wasn't aware of what the penalty was. But that's, I have to admit, I think that seems, from a safety point of view, that seems to me overkill in the rally side of things. I think that's very sad, because I think there was definitely an argument for safety there. If a driver can't see where he's going, that's a safety issue for sure. So I think that's wrong. It's wrong. That should have been considered on safety grounds. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you couldn't see out the windscreen, what's he supposed to do? I mean, that's completely wrong. So no, I don't agree with that. If that's what they came up with. I think what it is that in Formula One again, you had the same thing this weekend. You had Nico Hulkenberg given starting from the pit lane because he changed the nose front wing, and we're just going to start from the beginning now. That was a good race. Yeah, I mean, they didn't need to start Nico Hulkenberg from the pit. I mean, it was a front wing change. I mean, changing parts on the car to a previously agreed front wing just seemed to be completely wrong to me. So I didn't agree with that at all. Didn't agree with it at all. But without, obviously, Charlie Whiting's gone, and you need a bit of common sense when it comes to interpretation of the rules sometimes. You need to say, guys, look, there's a reason. So it's definitely interesting getting through this racing, but you can see that every race we've moved up good places at the start. We're just starting too far down the order basically. If you're going to start in 15th, 16th, 17th place, there really isn't much you can do. When you get to the first corner, you're going to have all kinds of crazy drama basically, and there's not much you can do about it. And when you've got guys crashing into the back of you like that, nudging you off the track, well, what can you do? It's one of those things. But it is happening a lot though in this penalty system at the moment. Something's definitely gone backwards in terms of the penalty structure. Let's see now. So I think that's about it today, viewers. I think we've had a good analysis of the race today. And I've really enjoyed this track. I just want to find some more speed. I think if I go qualifying again, if I can get myself into the 126s or even higher and just find out where I'm going wrong, it might be I'm in the wrong gear in a few corners. I think that will help me a lot. I was definitely quicker when we did this a while ago in the Honda. I mean, I was doing 127s, 126s, 127s comfortably in the Honda. So there's definitely a difference to driving this car, and I've just got to find the nuances on it. But I'm definitely not comfortable with driving this car as it is. I'm definitely losing some serious pace. Look at that though, all the way down to last place. So to come from last and get anywhere, frankly, is always a result. So that was an interesting look into the driving experience, viewers. The driving experience. I think that's about it, really. Chat, it's quiet. So thanks for tuning in today. And there'll be more from me, more racing action from me in the coming days. Bit of Crash Bandicoot coming on the channel, and there'll be more from me very soon.